According to Timothy McGean, a distinguished scientist at the Division of Sports Medicine at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, on their website titled the National Federation of High School Associations, last updated on May 9th of 2018, stated that 50% of all high school athletes who specialize in a specific sport also participate in a club team of that same sport. Now, as many of us have grown up, we've probably began to specialize in a certain sport, but specializing in a sport can harm athletes later in life. Today, I will be discussing how specializing in a sport can affect an athlete both physically and mentally, and that a possible solution can be participating in multiple sports. To begin, Robert Manella, a retired professor at the University of Austin, Texas, on Current Sports Medicine Report, last updated on December of 2010, stated that manipulation such as diets, chemicals, and merchandising can have a big impact on athletes. Diets can consist of things like eating disorders, which are pushed on by coaches, judges, parents, and many other teammates. This can carry through the athlete's life and carry through past the actual sport. Another way is chemicals. You've probably all heard of the performance-enhancing drugs, stimulants, and dietary supplements. These can have big impacts on athletes throughout their athletic careers and also throughout the rest of their lives. And the final way is merchandising. And this doesn't have to do with the Nike Pro socks that you can go out and buy. This has to do with the actual athletes themselves. They are sought out as long-term investments and then for the most part, start putting their sport before their actual education. Another way that athletes are impacted physically, as cited before, Timothy McGean stated that specializing in a sport can increase your injury. In a study done in 2016 by the NFHS, which stands for the National Federation of State High School Association, they stated that 50% of athletes who were moderately specialized had a risk of getting some sort of injury. Compared to those that were highly specialized, they had an 85% risk of getting some sort of injury throughout the year, compared to those who didn't specialize at all. Now that we've discussed some of the physical aspects, we will now move on to the mental. According to Grant Hill, a professor and associate chair for the graduate studies at California State University, and Gary Hansen, who is an associate dean for the College of Education at the University of Iowa, on Shape America, last updated in February 25th of 2015, stated that professionalism is one of the big ways athletes are affected mentally. This is due to the fact of their coaches pushing them to become better and harder than what they actually want to do, causing a sense of self-doubt when getting up onto that line. They also suggested burnout is another way. This is a psychological burnout which can affect the athlete and coaches if they are pushed for too long for too hard. This can then cause them to want to quit earlier before they've actually hit their prime time. Now that we have discussed why specializing at an early age is a problem, we will now move on to why participating in multiple sports could be a possible solution. According to John Rushin, who is a physical therapist and strength coach specializing in athletic performances, on Dr. John Russin, last updated in 2019, stated that fitness and motor skills are improved by participating in many different sports. He said, you fire different muscles, which allows your muscles to rest in between different types of sports, causing you to become actually stronger. He also said this builds your athletic base. If you use different types of muscles throughout the seasons, your muscles will remember that and be able to become stronger, coming back to that original season. According to Christy Villar, who is an assistant coach at the NDSU on ProQuest, last updated in September of 2011, she stated that people who participate in many different types of activities have good grades. They tend to have an outlet which allows them to push harder when it comes to schoolwork, giving them a more relaxed feeling. She also said that it keeps athletes participating in many activities allows athletes to stay out of illegal activities such as drugs, alcohol, and graffiti. Now, today I have told you why specializing in a sport can cause an athlete to become physically and mentally disengaged, and how participating in many different sports is a possible solution. Specializing in a sport can harm an athlete later in life, and if you are one of those 50% who has participated in just a single sport, there's still time for you to try another one.